Justice for All.
Yeah.
Kyle, rank for you.
What did you say?
I was saying, what are your thoughts on Injustice for All?
All right. And Justice for All. I love this album too. I'll start off by saying that I used to have, back in high school, I used to have a pair of Converse. I still have them. It's a pair of Converse. They're Metallica shoes that has the album cover on the sides of both of them.
Oh, wow.
So I love this album quite a bit. With that said, it's not as good as Master of Puppets. I think a lot of that comes down to the production for me. You know, this point has been hammered into the ground by so many people so many times, but the lack of any audible bass on this album is a travesty. I mean, Jason Newsted is a great bass player, you know, and even if he's not Cliff Burton, just there was no reason for there to be such a lack of bass on it. And they've given so many excuses throughout the years for it. And so you never fully know what to believe about it. First, someone said, oh, they were hazing the new guy, which is a pretty dumb reason when you're releasing an album as a way to haze someone. But then you heard it. There are so many different things that they've said over time. So I'm not going to hammer that into the ground, but that does hurt it in my eyes. Some parts do feel a little tin canny because of that. But there's some great songs on here for the first album without a major contributor to the band. And, you know, it's great. I think it's just as aggressive in a slightly different way as Master of Puppets. And man, I also will say this is the third album cover in a row that's just an iconic album cover. Three great covers in a row.
I mean, from Ride the Lightning to Master of Puppets to Injustice for All, the album cover is killer. It's like it just it screams, "I'm gonna blow your ears off," like no doubt about it. My personal opinion of this album, and we're doing this live, we're recording it as well. I mean, in generally speaking, this was their first top 40 album on the Billboard 200. It peaked at number 6 in 1988. I found that out. And aside from all the chart stuff, and having one being like a hit single, truthfully, with the radio edit of it.
Yep.
I mean, that is my favorite Metallica song is One. Truthfully, I love One. It is, to me, it's incredible. And as well as other stuff on the record too. I'll get to that in a little bit. The only logistical thing that I've heard about with the bass playing and how it's turned down is that I thought it was to honor Cliff Burton's death, if that makes sense.
Yeah, there has been multiple things that they've said throughout the years for the reasoning for it. That was one of them that was said. Another one was that they were hazing Jason Newsted for it being his first album. And there was some other things in there too. I don't remember. One was just saying that they thought that was their just their idea. They thought it would sound cool or whatever. There's been so many things, so you never know what to believe on it. But even in what I found interesting was when they reissued the albums and like remastered it, they didn't really fix that. And I thought that's something that they would have done. So maybe they do legitimately just like how it came out and sounded. Who knows? Again, it really doesn't drag the album down that much, in my opinion.
I mean, I think it's still like a fantastic record overall. Though I think it's it's a brilliant record. I mean, I think it deserves whatever it got back in the late 80s. And by the way, I'm just for those of you who are wondering, it says it's recorded from January 28th to May 1st. They did this in 5 months, literally under 4, really, if you think about it. They really just plowed through and made a really long record.
Yeah.
Crazy. But overall, I do love this record. I think it is a work of an art masterpiece, whatever you want to call it. I love it. they've never been more aggressive than they. But let's get down to the track listing, and then we'll rank this sucker. Hold on, let's see. Where is it? So the track listing is as follows. Only 9 songs this time. The first one was 8 for each record. The Kill 'Em All had 10, right? I forget. Or 9.
Kill 'Em All had 10, and the other two had 8.
Oh, okay. So there's 9 songs in here, and I believe "To Live Is to Die" is a it's a instrumental too, if I'm not mistaken. Correct, except for like one word that they say in it.
Yes, that's correct.
So it's like a song with only like 10 words or whatever it is.
Yeah, so the only song with Cliff Burton credited as well.
Right. Blackened and Justice for All, Eye of the Beholder, One, The Shortest Straw, Harvester of Sorrow, The Frayed Ends of Sanity, To Live Is to Die, and Dyer's Eve.
Mm-hmm.
What do you got? What's your take on this track listing? What are some of your favorite songs?
All right. So for me, my top 3, Blackened, One, and The Shortest Straw. I've always loved The Shortest Straw. That's a little bit of a deeper cut from there. It was very close between that one and Justice for All, which again, and Justice for All, another song like Master of Puppets, where it's even longer than Master of Puppets. It's near 10 minutes long, but it doesn't feel like it. And that just, it goes to show what brilliant songwriters that they are, that they can make a song that long and not have it feel its length. But in terms of the track listing overall, it definitely, in my eyes, is like front loaded. We got Blackened and Justice for All, Eye of the Beholder, One, Shortest Straw, and Harvester of Sorrow. And then the last 3 to me, I kind of fall off. Frayed Ends of Sanity, they're not bad songs.
Okay.
They just don't really catch my attention as much. I think it loses steam a little more than halfway through.
Okay. Yeah. And To Live Is to Die, any thoughts on that, or Dyer's Eve? Nothing on it.
To Live Is to Die, to me, again, it's definitely way too long. And I think it doesn't change enough throughout the song. Something that, they did well with Orion, and then they went back to, I don't know. It just doesn't feel like it goes anywhere really. Dyer's Eve, it's good. Not really much. I think those are kind of filler in my eyes. My least favorite, other than To Live Is to Die, I'd have to give to Eye of the Beholder, actually.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
And in hindsight, looking back from their later work, the lyrics come off kind of cringy and were done much better on Don't Tread on Me on the Black album. They're very similar songs, but Don't Tread on Me was like, oh, all right, this is a significantly better version of what they were going for here.
Right. Okay. For me personally, I mean, I listened to this album from start to finish, like today, in preparation for tonight and what we're talking about right now. And I gotta tell you, the opening Blackened, like the moment you hear it, you're like, holy crap, they can really they forget aggressiveness. They are like mad at this point. They are so pissed, and they take it out through guitars, which is awesome. I love Blackened. I think it's a great opener for their encores. It shows, truthfully. I haven't seen them live, but I've looked at their sets. I think that's a perfect like encore opener for that. That's me. But and Justice for All, yes, it's 9 minutes and 46 seconds long for a song, and there's a lot of it's just a long song with long instrumentals in it and whatnot. Eye of the Beholder, it's probably the weakest. I shouldn't say weakest. I still like it, but it's not like it doesn't hold up for me as like Harvester of Sorrow or One does.
Yeah, I mean, there's no song on here. When I say like a least favorite, there's no song that's bad on this album. Like there's nothing on this album that I'd be like, oh, I gotta skip that.
Yeah, there's nothing really I skip. I mean, it's funny. The only one I skip from time to time is To Live Is to Die. That's really the only one I skip from time to time. But I mean, overall, I still like it. But that's me.
Yeah, I did want to just say real quick about this album. Not just this album, every album that they've done up to this point, and I think it continued after this as well. but really they were able to maintain that classic sound of theirs, but improve upon it with each album.
Yeah.
And that shows in this one as well. Like the songwriting just keeps getting better and better and, you know, more intricate over time. And I think this album was kind of the peak of like the intricate songs in a way.
Yeah.
It does get a little more simplistic after here, but we'll get into that. But yeah, I think that, you know, they managed to maintain their classic sound, but still tweak it in a way that made it different and give it its own persona.
Yeah, I definitely see where you're coming from with that. Yeah. But the big question is, where does it rank amongst your favorite Metallica records, and where does it rank for you overall?
Mm-hmm. Number 5.
Interesting.
Put it just over Ride the Lightning. I don't
Okay.
think it was as good as Master of Puppets. And it definitely a great album. I come back to it very frequently, especially songs like One. I just think that there's a little more filler than usual, but the great songs on here are absolutely incredible.
Oh yeah, no, I think that when they stepped into the studio, they knew what they wanted out of it and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I think overall, it's a stone cold classic metal album. I wish there, and it's funny. I remember so clearly. I was watching, like I said, behind the music from Metallica on YouTube, whatever. I was streaming it, whatever. And they didn't really go in depth with this album. They went in more in depth with the next album, the Black Album. But we'll get to that in a second. But they kind of like skipped over this record a little bit. They said, oh, they said after Cliff Burton's death, they made this album, and then that was it. So on my own time, I went back and I listened to it from start to finish several times. I thought, oh my God, they can really do anything, truthfully. I put this at my number 1.
Number
you
1.
might think I'm crazy.
Interesting.
Already. Yeah, because I know, because to me personally, when I think of Metallica, I mean, I think of heavy guitars. I think of like aggressive lyrics to some extent. Yes. Like, later stuff, not really to an extent, but like when I think of Metallica, I just think of hard hitting guitar, and truthfully, I think of longer songs like Injustice for All, like the title track. I love it. I listen to it from start to finish all the time, all 10 minutes of it. It's crazy. One though is a fantastic song. And when they did the radio cut of it, and that hit the top 40 for them and kind of opened the floodgates even more for them. Not as much as the Black Album, but still, this is my number 1. Full disclosure. I mean, you said number 5, I said number 1. That's where I'm at. But well,
I also want to say about One.
Yeah,
the bridge in One is one of the best bridges to a song ever written.
Yes,
the way it kicks into that is absolutely incredible. There's nothing like it. It's one of the best moments, in my opinion, in metal music in general.
I second that notion 100%, my guy. 100%. It's just that incredible of a song in general. It's one of the best. Well, I think it's one of the best hard rock metal songs ever, truthfully.
I would agree.
But that's me. So